Hey there friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I wanted to talk about some overrated perks on certain weapons that I've seen promoted as the god rolls lately, as well as some underrated perks that I think people should be chasing for certain weapons as well. And yeah, there's just a lot of misconceptions, I feel like, as far as how the game plays compared to how the perk sounds. For example, the one that I would point to the most is the thing everyone is chasing in Iron Banner this week. That is a Hero's Burden with Destabilizing Rounds. In my opinion, this perk does not do enough to overthrow Funnel Web, Unforgiven, or even a Hero's Burden with Repulsor Brace if you have that instead. Destabilizing Rounds, the trait says final blows cause nearby targets to become volatile. Now, that sounds all well and good. However, because of fragments that you have for void subclasses and because of the artifact perk this season, it's already devalued, right? You can already set up your volatile rounds in a better way. And this weapon doesn't hit hard enough to not benefit from a damage perk. And so destabilizing rounds feels like a less effective version of Incandescent or something like that. And for that reason, I don't think it's worthwhile to chase this unless you really enjoy the perk and you want to rock it all the time. But it's just not a weapon that I would highly advise. There was times where, especially in, like, this is a hero nightfall, not anything crazy difficult. It just did not feel like it was hitting all that hard. And without something like Frenzy, without something like a Rampage or something like that, that really gets the weapon going, it just feels underwhelming overall. And it's hard to get those initial kills to make everyone explode around the first target. So that's one of the reasons that I'm just not a fan of it. I've used it quite a bit. I do have one, the Hero's Burden with Repulsor Brace, that I just like way better. And it pairs so well with void builds that having this trait does not really go well. Like, there's no reason for me to use this over a solid Unforgiven that I have, a solid Funnel Web, or even the other Hero's Burden if I wanted to use Repulsor Brace. Repulsor Brace I felt like was a more beneficial perk to make this function within a void build and be very effective in that way. So another perk that I think is getting too much shine because it's new and fresh, but I don't think overall is the best perk in a lot of activities, is going to be Hatchling. I think if you're playing certain Warlock builds that are based around Threadlings, it can be effective and it can be a lot of fun. So if you want to use it for fun, by all means, absolutely get it. I think it's a lot of fun myself. I just don't think it's very viable in a lot of different types of content compared to something like Incandescent. Again, even Volt Shot is one that's unfortunate because I wish that one was better. It just doesn't always feel good. Now, something like Destabilizing Rounds is also interesting, whereas on the Hero's Burden I don't like it, but on the shotgun, on that Void Shotgun, I feel like it can be very effective for ad control, and I actually like it quite a bit. And it's way more fun because it's the only shotgun that does have Destabilizing Rounds. So I think that's where the difference lies in so far, that sometimes a weapon isn't going to be beneficial with a certain perk, and so that's why it just doesn't match up as well as you might hope. And so that's one of the things to keep in mind going forward for sure, is that some perks are going to sound really good, but then you have Destabilizing Rounds on the Hero's Burden, it's okay, but on Nessa's Oblation it's actually very good. Now, as far as underrated, something I have not seen people talk about at all is Arvundil. I think I said that right, but the FR6, it's a stasis fusion rifle that can roll with Reconstruction and Chill Clip. This is absolutely insane. You can use Chill Clip for champions, you can use Reconstruction to have insane amounts of ammo, and I just haven't seen anybody talk about it anywhere, and it's kind of crazy to me because this weapon, while it doesn't feel like it hits the hardest, between those two and having that combination just feels unbelievably good. Not having to reload, infinitely freezing essentially, and it just works out in a way that I think is again, very underrated, especially if you're rocking either a stasis build that does benefit a lot from Chill Clip, but also if you need it for champions. Again, I think there's a reason to run that, and the fact that I haven't seen anybody do so is rather surprising to me personally, when it's a very good option that a lot of people could possibly throw into their builds. Now, otherwise, I think a lot of the other builds and other weapons and perks that you'll be chasing this season and with Lightfall are pretty obvious, but there's just going to be a disconnect, I think, at times, depending on the type of content that you take on. And that's going to be what I leave you guys with, is that there's different ways to play Destiny 2, right? Whether it's PvP, PvE, endgame PvE, or casual PvE, it doesn't matter how you play. If you find something that you have a lot of fun with, then use that thing and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I'm not here to say that what you like is not good. What I'm here to say is that if you're trying to look for the best thing for harder content, or the best thing to make the game easier for you because you're struggling, or whatever the case may be, that's where you got to look at perks and be like, okay, how effective is this perk actually? I think Incandescent is fantastic. I think Repulsor Brace, while underrated, was very good. I think Hatchling and Bolt Shot and Destabilizing Rounds, in most cases, is overrated. And none of them are as good as I would like them to be. I will say the Ecliptic Distaff Glaive, the seasonal one, is actually a lot of fun with Destabilizing Rounds. That's another one where if you want to use that for fun, it can be a blast. But overall, again, it's not going to be as effective as you might want it to be consistently. And that's what they've done with the seasonal weapons, is they made them good but not great. So it is functional but not fantastic. But anyway, that was a little side tangent. I did want to say that whatever type of gameplay you are going for, just build towards that. I'm a fan, personally, of Golden Tricorn a lot. I do a lot of ability-based builds, and so because of that, Golden Tricorn synergizes really well. So I run that as a perk far more often than other people, and it's very effective for me because I can keep the uptime. Whereas other people might play a different type of style, and that's something that I don't see a lot of people talking about when they're saying, this is the god roll, this is the best weapon, this is underrated, overrated, whatever. For me, when I'm talking about it today, it's all about what is going to work the best. And Destabilizing Rounds, in my opinion, is not the best perk for that. I would much rather have, in most cases, Repulsor Brace in that slot, or even something like Frenzy if that was possible. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's something a little different. I just kind of wanted to go on a little bit of a tangent there. My name is JoPa. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps me out tremendously. Definitely shows you want to see more content like this from me. I would appreciate the feedback there. Hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.